How E&C came to be is at the Country Doctor Museum in Bailey to learn about the history of America's rural healthcare. We're here with Lizzie Yates, the docent of the Country Doctor Museum. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what people can expect or experience when they come to the Country Doctor Museum.
We have 3 buildings total that we walk through. We have over 5,000 artifacts in our collection, and you can expect to learn everything in the medical history of rural healthcare, the country doctor practice, how to become a nurse, how to become a doctor, how to treat and take care of people in the home.
And we're in one of the buildings, so what can people experience in this building?
So in this building, we're actually in the Freeman Building, which is the very original museum building from when the museum opened in 1967. You can expect to learn about the way of making medicine, the curious ways that they would treat you. Some of them were a little gruesome. You can also learn about what you would expect to see in a country doctor's office, the process of becoming a doctor, some Civil War stuff, as well as in our sick room, you can learn about all the different things you would often find in the sick room, how that home care would happen, and some of the products they were even using as well.
Lizzie, so can you tell us a little bit about this bedroom and what's behind us?
Yeah, so this is our Victorian era sick room. You would usually find this in the family home, especially if they were a wealthy family. They would have one bedroom set aside for tending to whoever was ill at the time, because illness, especially during the Victorian period, was super prevalent. Here is where we do our pill rolling demonstration. The country doctor had to make all of his own medicine during this period. Apothecaries weren't super common, so they were traveling to you, diagnosing you, and then treating you right then and there on the spot. But the whole process of this was pretty lengthy. They would have formularies, which we have here. They're kind of like a cookbook that they would have their recipes. So they would tell you what they were treating, what ingredients they needed, how much of each, and then how to use and how to mix those. Now, if they were making a pill dough, they would use an apothecary scale to measure out their dry ingredients. They put their weight on one side, the ingredients on the other, till they measured out to whatever they needed for their formulary. They would then put it in their mortar and grind it up with their pestle. And once they'd combined all those dry ingredients, they would add a binding agent to that. So they would roll out their pill dough on their pill tiles, which were usually glass, marble, porcelain were some of the most common styles. They all would have had a ruler on the top though, and that's how they would hand measure their pill doses. So that took a lot of time, and there's a lot of room for human error there. So the pill roller, which is our machine here next, made it a lot faster and a lot more consistent for them. They would roll it out, lay it on the board, press down with their pill paddle, roll it forward, and it would give them a line of pre-cut, pre-rolled pills that they could just pop right apart, and they knew they'd all be the exact same dose. So they could fill prescriptions a lot faster and a lot more consistently doing this.
Lizzie, so where are we right now?
So right now we're in our Carriage House. This is where we feature all of the different modes of transportation the country doctor would take, and we also have our polio display in here as well.
And for people who don't know, what is that contraption right over there?
Yeah, so that is an iron lung. That is very much so the hallmark of the polio epidemic.
And so we have an assortment of cars here. So I'm assuming this is how they would get to and from their appointments.
Yes, absolutely. Time was definitely of the essence. So way back in the day, they traveled by horse and buggy all the way up to our 1912 and our 1926 Model Ts. Because they wanted to get to the most houses as they could to help as many people as they could, they were usually the first in town to have the most modern forms of transportation.
And if people want to know more information, where can they go?
They can Google us online, the Country Doctor Museum in Bailey, North Carolina. We have a website. You can also go through East Carolina University's website, because we are also a part of East Carolina University. Go Pirates!
And make sure to come back to Hello E&C every week as we uncover the history of how E&C came to be.